Ladies and gentlemen, I have the pleasure today of interviewing someone else on our success interview. And this gentleman is none other than Mr. Steve Hoisington, State Vice President for 4 states, also a 6-figure ring earner, somebody who's gone from a student to a full-time career in LegalShield. I'm excited about bringing this individual on, Mr. Steve Hoisington. Are you there, sir?
I am here. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. How are things over there?
It's good. We're in the Pacific Northwest. We have a sunny day today, which is great. We see blue skies, and I know we get a bad rap for getting a lot of rain, but it's not that bad up here. But
Steve, it looks like it's raining right now over there.
It's not, I swear. But I am in my Airstream. We bought an Airstream a couple months ago to my wife's a music teacher, and so she's doing Zooms at school, at home now, and my girls are in college now. Everyone's doing Zooms, right? So
yeah,
like, I gotta get out of the house. So I've been looking at Airstreams for a while, and I bought this sucker. So I'm out in my Airstream on my property and doing a nice Zoom here.
So when you're doing it big in LegalShield, your man cave is an Airstream, not a room. It's an Airstream. Okay. Nice. Well, I want to jump right into the interview because I want to make sure we get as many jewels as we can from you in the time that we have. Let's just jump right into it. How did you get introduced to LegalShield?
Yeah, my father actually introduced me. I was a grave digger at a local cemetery. That was my job to put me through school. I was getting ready to go to law school, and I'm just looking to make a little money while I was going to school. And my dad got introduced to LegalShield because he was selling funeral plans, and somebody said, "Hey, this would be great for people who sell funeral plans because everyone needs a will." And so he saw the information. He said, "This would be great for Steve. You might want to make a little extra income." He gave me a video. The guy on the video is a guy named Dave Savola. And guess what? I watched the video, and then he said, "You got to come go to this meeting tonight in Seattle." And guess who was speaking that night? Dave Savola. So I ended up seeing him twice in one day. And so I signed up and got going, and that's how I got introduced to LegalShield.
So wait, I've always wanted to ask, how do you go? You're a ditch digger, and then you're in law school. I've never even met anyone who was a ditch digger before. I think that's a cool story. So that was a family business or something, right? And so you guys were doing that. So that was actually cool.
Yeah, I just worked at a cemetery, man, and it was just down the street from where I went to college. And it was just a way to make a life.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. I don't know if that's me freezing up. Am I freezing up for you, Steve, or am I still going, or is that me?
Good. I can see you. I know internet can be a little crazy sometimes.
Okay, good deal. Well, listen. So look, when did you make the decision to say, "Hey, look, this is going to be my career, and I'm no longer going to take the route of going to law school and becoming an attorney"? When did you decide that? And how did that come about?
Well, I started really day one. I said, if I'm going to do this, I want to make some extra income. I'm tired of digging graves. I had a few other jobs too. And so the best thing that ever happened is Dave taught us a system. I still teach it today. I still do it today. But that system, I said, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to at least not waste time. I'm going to go ahead and make sure I do it right. So I followed the system. My first Saturday, I made a few $100s. That was enough for me to go, okay, this thing works. And then a few months later, I was making enough to quit my jobs. And I still didn't quit school yet. And then a year and a half later, I walked away from school because I was making more than the average attorney makes walking out of law school. So, and I wasn't a 6-figure income earner or anything like that. I was just making some good money for a kid that I know what attorneys make when they come out of school. So at that point, I'm like, I can always go to school. I mean, the school's always there. And by the way, my bachelor degree, it's the most expensive receipt on my wall. And so I always laugh about it because this is a great opportunity. If you follow the system, you can absolutely, and everyone's different. You have to gauge everyone differently on where you're ready to go. But that was for me. I just said, man, I'm making pretty good money. Why not keep working for myself? I'd rather be a stay-at-home dad. I don't want to have to go to an office every day if I don't have to. Yeah. I was prepared to make a good income. I wanted to make a 6-figure income, but boy, when I found a better way, why not?
Steve, a lot of us have gotten caught in the golden handcuffs, right? And where we get these jobs and, you're making too much money to just want to leave so quickly, but not enough to be happy about it because you don't have the time and etc. And, you found a way to make this really work for you from a full-time perspective. What do you think are the keys to actually turning this into a real full-time career that can continue to provide for you the way it has for you and your family for so long?
Well, I think number one is you've got to follow the system and you've got to be coachable. There are hundreds of people who already did that transition over. So don't try and reinvent the wheel. Just try and learn from other people who've already done that. And I think part of it is two ways to really go full time. You're either going to be a big producer and go sell a lot of memberships, and we have a lot of people that do that. I mean, about 12 a week on average will make about 14,000 a month. I mean, we know that. So
Right.
you'll see that in the B2B side. On the other hand, I was never a B2B guy, but I could see people making a six-figure income on the networking, the recruiting side. And so in order to become a good recruiter, I needed to be a good recruiter. I needed to be a good leader. I needed to be a good motivator. I needed to learn how to inspire people, because no one's my boss and I'm not anyone's boss, right? And
Right.
so all these things, it comes down to personal development, and then sticking in the game long enough to learn these skills, no matter what division you go to. If you go to the B2B division, we've got all the training here for you. We have all the mentors that'll help you do it. If you're going to go the team building side, you got to build a team that's going to be able to produce some overrides that can justify you leaving that job. But it can be done. And the company's really helping now with builders bonuses and all these bonuses to help people make that transition. So I would say personal development and work ethic, because and belief. You got to believe you can do it. Otherwise, you're not going to put the energy in to do it. So.
Okay. And yeah, I think that's a big deal, what you just said. I think you just dropped some jewels, not only for everybody, but for me personally. I love that. You said personal development, work ethic, and then you're following this system. One of the things that I want to ask specifically is, obviously, for you to make a journey in this business so long and be so successful on a networking side, right? Because people talk about group making it a career, but you had to have a mentor. Who was that for you in this business? And what was your relationship like with them?
Well, I was fortunate. I was obviously brought on in the Savola organization, and so I got to know him pretty well. It was interesting. I met him on a Thursday, and I didn't talk to him for about a year and a half. I mean, I was like this little guy that was just trying to build his business. And then I remember one day, out of the blue, Dave Savola called me and left a voicemail on my voicemail. And it was one of those old answering machines. And I'm like, when I heard it, I'm like, Dave Savola called me. Oh my goodness. I mean, that's when I knew I was starting to build my business a little more. He was noticing my numbers. But between that point and when I got started, and when Dave did that, and of course, I built a stronger relationship with Dave, and and really that was great. But along the way, I met people like Larry Smith and Nick Serba and Larry Lemke, and I mean, just some amazing leaders out there who even though some of them I wasn't on their team, but they would I would go to everything, man. Any live event, I'd sit in the front, I'd take notes. I'd be like, how can I improve? I'd always ask myself at every event, what can I do better? Because if they can do it, I know I can do it. I'm the human copy machine. I don't reinvent anything. But if someone else has done it, I'll just do what they're doing and have success and get better at it. And so, Danny Coteau is a great mentor of mine. I mean, I can go on and on all the ring earners. So, Don Thompson, another one. So the point is, we're surrounded in LegalShield with so many great leaders and mentors, and everyone here can have success, but you've got to be willing to learn from them and actually take good accountability of yourself and go, you know what, I do need to make a change here, and I'm willing to make a change. Because some people, they allow their pride to step in from stopping them from having success, because they're like, well, I know all the answers. No, I was the one that said, I don't know the answers. I'm willing to learn. And by the way, I'm still learning. Zoom is new to many of us, right? I'm still learning Vimeo. I'm posting videos now. I never did these things 10 years ago, right? But I'm learning new things with this new society and this new economy we're in.
So, okay, and that leads me right into our next question. What would you say is your largest success in LegalShield? What was your biggest success in your mind?
My biggest success is going to be a stay-at-home dad for the last 18 years. My kids are 2 boys are 18, my girls are 16. And I mean, on a personal level, I mean, it's all about freedom. I mean, I can get up and go and do what I want. And of course, the accolades of being a Millionaire Club member and a ring earner and all that stuff. But I would say at the end of the day, it's really being the person that I want to be with my time. I don't owe my time to anyone. Okay. And I'm humbly saying that. I'm very grateful for that because of this opportunity. But I would say that's probably the biggest success, is just being able to be my own boss.
Man, I love it. I love it. Okay, so let me ask this. In contract, what would you say was your biggest setback, and how did you overcome it?
No, man. I mean, here's the thing. I've been with the business for 20 years. I mean, I started when I was a kid in college, and I didn't have gray hair. I didn't even have a beard back then. So I've had a lot of learnings and challenges and things along the way. And I
Yeah.
think every time I've had a challenge, I've always just tried to have a positive attitude. Others have done this, and I've always reached out to mentors if it was big enough. Sometimes I could figure it out on my own. But I think on a personal business side, one of the biggest challenges I probably faced was early in my career. They came out with the Performance Club
Mhm.
that everybody's going to be able to go on these great trips. And I'm like, okay, show us what to do. And me and some of my team really went after it. Okay. And we put all the numbers in, but we weren't doing it the right way. And our retention wasn't that good. And they didn't tell us a whole lot about retention at the time. And I
Right.
remember them emailing us and saying, hey, you're not going to be able to go. And this was the first Performance Club trip. Okay. And I remember it knocked out some of the people on my business. They're like, well, dude, if I did all the work and I can't go on this trip, I'm out. And they left, right? And I remember going, oh man, I mean, my business just went right. But I remember going, you know what? They're trying to help me. I remember calling Dave Savola, and Dave's like, hey, you know what? Just trust me. You want to build a book of business. They're thinking long term here. And
Yeah.
so instead of quitting, instead of getting frustrated, instead of whining, I'm like, okay, well, I'll fix my retention. I'll fix this area that the company is willing to send me on trips. They just want to make sure I've got good retention, that my business is good.
Yeah.
And so I started doing that, and my retention slowly started building back up. I missed the first 3 trips, but I was in the Performance Club for those 3 years, and then eventually, I mean, I've been on every trip since. So here's the best part. Today, I've since, and Dave Savola was right, man. I earned out, which is meaning these advances don't they just you get earned income every month because it's book of business that you build, and we've earned out 8, 9, 10 years ago. And it's, to me, I look at that and I go, man, I'm so glad I listened to Dave. I'm so glad I
Yeah.
stuck it through. I'm so glad that, and the people that left, I see some of them today, and I see they struggle, and I'm like, man, if only they'd stuck around. So that was probably a big challenge for me, retention, learning how to overcome that, and making sure I got on those trips. And that, and by the way, Performance Club is huge because that's a good gauge for your business. It's also a great way to build your leadership skills, because here's the thing, it's a monkey see monkey do business. If you're gonna
Right.
teach someone to ride a bike, you got to know how to
All
ride a
right.
bike. So
Yep.
if you want to go out and build if you want to go out and build a team of Performance Club people, you got to be in the Performance Club, right? And by the way,
Mm.
you'll learn skills by being in the Performance Club. You'll learn how to close memberships. You'll learn how to make sure you're consistent. You'll learn how to have good retention on a small scale, on your own personal scale. Now you can teach that to other people. So
So,
retention.
okay. Yeah, okay, you just dropped like 100 nuggets in that. Yeah, that was awesome. I'm watching this replay after right after we're done. I want to ask this question too. Through the years, you've seen, I would say, maybe every single objection possible. How do you deal with objection from those people that say, "Oh, this is one of those things"? In other words, "Oh, this is one of those pyramid things, or one of these things that you." How do you deal with that? I mean, especially coming from background, you had to have a lot of real educated friends. I mean, for somebody who was going to go to law school, right? And so you hand those keys in to go build a business like this. How do you deal with that objection? And where do you get your strength from to deal with it?
Well, I mean, I know the answers to those. I mean, if they ever come up, things like, I mean, I already know where they work is generally a pyramid. I mean, it's, I mean, they've got a boss and they got a boss and
Right.
they got a boss. But in all honesty, I rarely get those responses. I mean, it is rare. And here's why. A lot of it is in the posture. I don't act like an MLMer. I don't look like I'm a pyramid guy. I don't, I'm not, I am very much, I'm a business owner. I'm the CEO of my business, and I'm looking for people that want to work from home part-time or full-time. And we're going to set you up like Uber or DoorDash, and you're going to be an independent contractor, and you get to work with me, and I get to help coach you. None of that even talks about multi-level. None of that talks about pyramid. None of those deals, right? I
Right.
tell them, you can work from home. And by the way, I've done this for 20 years. I know how to do it. So I tell people that. Now, if you're brand new, you may not have 20 years background, but you can certainly say, hey, we're looking for independent contractors that want to make some extra income part-time or full-time from home. We're set up like DoorDash or Uber. and we set you up as a 1099. I mean, that's really simple. If they, in that, but here, like I said, I'm also treating it like an insurance. I'm not an insurance agent, but like an insurance agent, you're going to have agents and brokers. You're going to have people that just sell the product, and some people will build a team. And when I describe it like that, I think it helps people see the big picture. We're looking for brokers. We're looking for associates, people who want to build a team. If you don't ever want to build a team, I can show you how to make a six-figure income just selling our product. So that's why I never get that question, because I treat it like that. So
I wish I had an emoji to throw on the screen and just go fire. That was amazing. I love that. So I'm going to ask this. What does your personal development plan look like? I mean, what do you do for that? Obviously, I mean, you've had a lot of leadership training and cultivation, and it's done well for you. So what does your plan look like in particular?
well, and I believe this. I've taught this to my kids. My son runs a six-figure income himself, and he just turned 18, and outside of LegalShield, he does it
Oh,
through. So, yeah, I know. And the reason I share that is because I look at it doesn't matter. Here's the thing: if you want to make more, you have to become more. But you've
okay.
also got to be relevant, and meaning you can't just read one book and be done. Now, there's two types of personal development. The first type is reading and learning and audio programs. And I do a little bit every day. You know, we are taught 10 pages out of a good book or 15 minutes of audio. Every day I do that. And our company is awesome because we immerse you in this. I mean, you can log into LS Engage. You can see tons of ways to learn how to get better. Okay. So that's one way for personal development. The second way is activity. So here's the thing: you can read all the books in the world and listen to all the audio, but if you're not actually doing the deal, there's no way you can look at how you did. And so it's like riding a bike. If you never ride a bike, you got to get on, you got to fall off, you got to get bumped and bruised, and that's just part of personal development. Failure is personal development. So
Yeah.
uh, I always say that's my other part of the plan is I'm just active. I'm always learning. I'm trying to just keep my activity high and go out and get beat up a little bit. I get no's like everyone else. I get people that mock just like everyone else. I mean, I get it all. But the thing is, I'm willing to go through the numbers to go find my next ring earner or my next leader. I'm looking for my link or my leader, a link to somebody or my next leader.
So you're in the trenches. You're actually doing it.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So, all right. My final question for you today is what's next and what's Mr. Hoisington's next big goal? What's his next big goal?
Well, I mean, I'm always focused on finding those leaders like I talk about. So of course, platinum. I've hit it one time in my career. I want to get there and be solid. I look at Cliff Malloy right now. That guy is blowing up.
Yes, he is.
And then of course I'm ready for my next ring level, and so I'm shooting for that and hoping to close that out by the end of the year or January 30th. So looking forward to that. And like I said, it's been an awesome ride with this company and what we're doing. So, and
Well,
by the way,
you,
I think I'm number 8 in recruiting for the company this year. So this will be my. I'm not saying this at all to impress anyone. I'm just saying I'm doing the deal. So when I'm sharing these nuggets, I'm out there every day. I mean, the last 2 years in a row, I've been in the top 10 in personal recruiting and in fast start qualifying. So this will be my 3rd year. I hope I got one more month to go. So I mean, that's another personal goal. If you want to know, is I want to make sure I finish out in the top 10 in personal recruitings again. So 3 years ago.
well, Steve, I'm just gonna tell you, man. I love your energy. I just love the energy that comes out. I mean, you seem like a great guy. I see it coming for you. And if it's any consolation to you, a couple of the last 3 people that we've actually interviewed, or three of the last 5 people we interviewed have already hit another ring level since they've talked to us. So I'm just gonna say we're a good luck charm. I just want you to know that.
I like it. Let's do it.
Do you have any closing words for us as before we go back out?
I would just say, hey, the biggest thing is it comes down to, I shared this last night on the Savola group, the tag group, the Advantage group, but it really does come down to the simplicity. If you keep it simple and don't gum it up, it'll work out. It's really about being consistent and putting the numbers in and then getting better. Okay. Getting better all the time. And so I would say start with your why. That's going to be your biggest motivator. Do you know why you're doing this? And do you believe you can do that you can achieve that in LegalShield? So what's hurting you? What's the one thing that's bugging you right now? What would you want to change in your life? Well, that's your why. And let's figure out how LegalShield can help you change that. And then after that, it just comes down to having a people to talk to, creating a list, and then going out and using a good script, which everyone knows. We can get them on LS Engage, and then using the tools, and that's it. And I would say, hey, let's go make the best December ever. I mean, this is a great time to close out the year. I mean, here's the thing. I mean, how fortunate we are that when
Yeah.
COVID has occurred in our country, that our company has pivoted. We're doing Zooms. We're exploding. We've got the right leadership. I mean, I imagine that, man. I mean, I've got friends who
Yes.
are attorneys who are struggling right now, and I
Yeah.
was almost an attorney. So
Wow.
I think my thing, hey, it's good. Life is good.
We're blessed.
Yeah.
We are definitely blessed. You're right about that. You are right about that. So, well, Mr. Hoisington, it's been a pleasure talking to you. I look forward to our opportunity to speak to you again one day. Ladies and gentlemen, as we always say here, we love to spend times with greatness, and that's it for us on Interview with Success.
And last but not least, make sure that you subscribe to our Legal Shield Florida State YouTube channel. Just click the link below, subscribe now, so you always catch the latest and greatest that Florida's putting out. Have a blessed day, everybody.